Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning! Welcome to the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network live. Woodwardsports.com. March 20th. And I can't believe that the energy in the room is even this high. I can't believe that last night I was walking around the house butt-ass naked. Only to find out that the Detroit Lions have come to an agreement with CJ Gardner-Johnson, formerly of the Philadelphia Eagles, on a one-year deal, $6.5 million guaranteed, upwards of $8 million. But that's not the story today. You know what the story is? The story is actually all of you. The story is every single one of you Detroit Lions fans. That's what the story is today. So we'll get to all that and so much more. I can't wait. Jeff, good morning, buddy. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Yeah, last night it was the most unexpected thing ever. I mean, CJ hadn't signed yet, last night. And then you get the news. He's signing with the Detroit Lions, and I'm not going to lie to you. Someone who talks about the Lions, I had to do a double take. I thought it was a fake Adam Schefter account. I swear to you. I had a double take. Oh, is this Adam Schefter? Okay, it's real. Seeing it reported, among other outlets as well. It was real. CJ Gardner-Johnson, 1 year, flyer deal, prove it deal. More so to hit free agency next year with the Detroit Lions. And Brad Holmes, let me tell you something. For somebody who got a lot of flack for how he approached free agency last year and the year before, he comes out this year, oh, you need to fix your secondary. Okay, 1 minute, please. Give me Cam Sutton, one of the highest graded corners according to PFF last year. Emmanuel Mosley, who before the ACL tear was a very, very good corner. And then you get CJ Gardner-Johnson, arguably the best free agent available, somebody you can move right into the nickel. Their secondary, Adam, over the course of this offseason, they brought back guys they wanted to bring back. They upgraded their backfield. They addressed the guard spot. And they saved their secondary in one offseason. So give credit to Brad. And he didn't spend a lot of money. 1 year deal for CJ Gardner-Johnson. 1 year deal for Emmanuel Mosley. And a 3-year, pretty good looking deal for Cam Sutton. Didn't overpay at him. And he addressed what you needed to address. Brad Holmes, you deserve all the credit, my man. You do. Let him cook. Let that man cook.
You know, I was thinking of cooking meth this morning, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Do my best Brad Holmes, you know.
He was doing his best Walter White impression.
Unreal.
He was
okay,
cooking.
Look, let's all be honest this morning, okay? Gardner-Johnson is a hell of a name. We're all very excited what he offers for the defense, yada, yada, yada. We're going to have the entire show. The phone lines will be open for every single one of you, 313-552-6322. We'll get to callers around 8:15, 8:20-ish. But today is about you guys. Gardner-Johnson, hell of a name, hell of a player. And we'll get to Brad Holmes and why he did this as well. But it's about you. You want to see your football team win. Who doesn't? You have been waiting over 3 decades, for your team to win a division. Dare I say, host a playoff game. Dare I say, win a playoff game. You know, standards around here have always been, oh, let's just get a winning record. That is not the mindset with this front office. That's not the mindset with this coaching staff. That is not the mindset with, I think, anybody watching today. How do you not come out of last night not believing that the Detroit Lions are no longer one of the 4 best teams, but they are among the 3 now with the Niners and the Eagles? And I would argue they have a better quarterback situation than the Niners. How are the Lions not among contenders in the NFC. Have they proven anything? Have they won a division? No, they haven't. Let's not cut the shit here. They haven't. Signing a player like Gardner-Johnson means nothing to the fact that you haven't won anything. But this is how you win. This is how a GM who, on one hand, is still retooling and rebuilding, and at the same hand going all in on his quarterback and his head coach for this upcoming season with one-year deals for Emmanuel Mosley, with a one-year deal with Gardner-Johnson, and now you're starting to see this team take shape. You gave Jared Goff a top 15 defense, Jeff, down the stretch. Remind me of their record in the final 10 games.
8-2 over their last 10 games.
When you supplied him with a respectable defense, you went 8-2 down the stretch. Now, we had this conversation all NFL season, the disappointment in a 1-6 start, how unacceptable it was, to their 8-2 finish, to how down that stretch in the final 10 games they looked like a top 10 football team, beating the Packers twice, beating the Minnesota Vikings, beating the Jets, beating the Giants, toe-to-toe with the Bills till the final seconds. I can go on and on. But today it's about you guys. Because you, the fans, have not only something to hold on to in terms of hope, but, you know, last week I recall doing a show and saying that the floor was 10 wins, and you agreed.
Yep.
And almost everybody in the Woodward Sports chat agreed. Almost everybody on social media agreed from this fan base that 10 was the floor. I really haven't changed my mind on that number, but the point is, you have to look even further now. Now, the objective's, yes, to win the division.
Yep.
To host a playoff game at Ford Field, first time ever. Let's start there. Dare I say, win a playoff game. But this is unbelievable. The fact that they were able to go out and convince a guy, hey, you're looking for a long-term deal. Hey, you're looking to get guaranteed money on a 4 or 5 year deal potentially. Come showcase your skills here in Detroit. We will allow you to do that. And who knows, maybe there is an under the table agreement where he's going to get that contract here in Detroit. I don't know. That very well could be the case. It very well could not be the case.
Right.
But it's irrelevant because you now have a nickel corner who can also play safety, who you have. We talked about Jeff Okudah so much in the early offseason of how they were going to address the secondary. They've addressed it in spades. It's been unbelievable how much better they've gotten. I don't recall ever in my life, I'll speak for myself, the Lions ever having a free agency period this good with the intention of going out and not only competing in the North, but damn it, winning it. Winning is the expectation. No longer competing, winning the North. You are Detroit better than the Packers. You are better than the Bears. You are better than the Vikings. Top to bottom, and it's not even close. Signings like this, boy, they do a funny thing to a fan base. And I'm happy for all of you this morning. I really am.
And look what this means for the organization as well. This is the biggest surprise to me. You look at previous years and you look at the, I guess, persona or the perception of the Detroit Lions. Please, Adam, inform me. Look at the last 2 years. DJ Chark on a 1-year prove-it deal. You had Emmanuel Mosley now on a 1-year prove-it deal. Chauncey now on a 1-year prove-it deal. Name me a time in past Lions history where players not only were taking less money, but going to the Lions to believe they can revive their career or go get money that next offseason.
Let me check my encyclopedia.
Please, just check for me.
Yep. Never.
Okay, so that tells you a lot, number one, about, well, Brad, it starts up top. It starts with Sheila to Brad, but also the coaching staff. We know what Chauncey and their relationship, or his relationship with Aaron and Dan was dating back to New Orleans. But the fact that players are looking at Detroit as a viable free agency destination and not to get overpaid either. That's the biggest thing. Like Terry would always used to say, yeah, you can get free agents, but you got to overpay them. Well, Emmanuel Mosley, Chauncey, one of the best free agents available. They took that. They're 2 years combined with both deals. There's no risk in both of these deals, but very high reward.
Outside of
Brad
Jesse
continues
Bates,
to cook.
outside of Jesse Bates, Gardner-Johnson was the number one secondary player available in this free agent class. You expected him to get paid. He declined a 3-year deal with the Philadelphia Eagles, his right to sign a 1-year deal with the Lions because he believes in himself. He's going to be betting on himself, and he's looking for more guaranteed money and just really more years on the contract for his next contract. I don't mind it. I don't hate it at all. My goodness. You wake up as a Detroit Lions fan this morning. You already have a top 5 offense.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't even gotten to the NFL draft where you hold picks 6 and 18, 48, 55.
Still got assets.
The interior on the defensive line is clearly now the focus. Detroit, September can't come soon enough. September can't come soon enough for this team. They are going to wipe the floor with the division. I saw Albert Breer put out a post. The Lions might win the NFC North.
Oh, no.
I have a newsflash for you, buddy. They could. They will. They will win the division. Mm-hmm. They are the prohibited favorites.
Yep.
And it's not even close. They were at plus 130 before the signing. They might be even money.
I believe it.
They might be an even money bet as a clear favorite in the North. Dallas better? What, they signed Brandon Cooks? Wow, I am concerned.
I think this puts them before you make the argument, are they on the same level as Dallas? They are. Like they're
No. I think they're above. They got the better quarterback.
Okay,
I believe in
I'll
the
give you
coaching
that.
staff more in Detroit than I do in Dallas.
And I'll give you
how
that.
I feel about Dallas's coaching staff. Their defense
More proven.
Sure, but this defense has way more upside, I could argue.
Yeah.
They've cleared Dallas. It's the Eagles, it's the Niners out of respect for those two teams, and then it's the Lions in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to put Dallas, you want to put the Saints, the Rams, whoever the hell you want to put. I really don't care this morning. What I care about is there is a legitimate football team in this town, and they are poised to win. Something I've never seen them accomplish in my life, and I am 29 years old, which is a division title. Hosting a playoff game at Ford Field, which has never happened in their history. And in an NFC where who are they going to get? New Orleans? Who are they going to get? Minnesota? Who are they going to get on the wild card? Now, you could throw a lot of teams out there, be my guest. I don't really care this morning. They're better than all of them.
Mm-hmm.
They're better than all of them. Oh my God. So on behalf of myself and Jeff this morning, Gardner-Johnson, welcome to Detroit, of course, but to Brad Holmes, the Detroit Lions in general, their front office, their coaching staff, this rip is for you, my friends. Oh my God, does it feel great. What a fantastic morning. Oh my goodness. We got a great show coming up. Phone lines are open. I know all of you are already calling in. Lines are packed, so we'll start getting to calls midway into the next segment. Jeff, when we get back, I want to clear up a few things on what it means for the Lions moving forward with their draft strategy. A lot of people saying, oh, it's the trade up for Will Anderson now. It's the trade up for Jalen Carter. We have so much time for all of that. But I do want to focus on the why with Brad Holmes. Why the one-year deals? How they're still projected to have one of the highest salary caps next season. Mm-hmm. And how this all comes with zero risk. We'll get to that next, but before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Chili Peppers Tanning.
Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find all the cleanest salons in the D with spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. You can join the Pepper Club for all the best deals. They'll beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your Vitamin D headquarters, 27 locations and more on the way.
I love Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Seafood Fest is back at Big Boy. Catch it while you can. Some favorites during Lent, like shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir fry, and the new fish sandwich. Go to your local Big Boy today. Don't forget the all-you-can-eat fish fry buffet on Friday nights.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live. WoodwardSports.com on an amazing Monday morning. The Detroit Lions making more headline news, but Jeff, I want to ask you something. I think you know exactly where I'm going with this, which is Brad Holmes. The moves he has made are all non-committal. To me, there is zero risk involved here. My evaluation of the situation is he's going all in on Dan Campbell.
Yep.
He's going all in on Jared Goff. And he, along with the front office and the coaching staff, want to prove that Jared Goff is the right guy, that you can with him, even though we all know this to be true because he's done it before. But regardless, they're going to give him all of the necessary tools to succeed. And by the end of the 2023-2024 NFL season, you will have clarity for the good or for the bad. For better or for worse, you will have clarity on your coaching and quarterback. And to me, God bless you, Brad. Hell of a job. Jeff?
Yeah, it's for both Dan and Jared. I mean, you're going to find out, number one, Jared Goff now, you talk about the discount he's making at $30 million. Well, now you go get guys that are non-committal. You sign guys that are non-committal, like Emmanuel Mosley, 1-year deal. Chauncey, 1-year deal. We'll see if they bring Chark back. They still got to make some moves. But even if they don't, the fact that you go into this offseason, they already had a really young, talented, up-and-coming defensive line. We know what kind of records they set in franchise history, but the secondary was always the problem. A year ago, your best corner last season, Jeff Okudah. This season, your best corner, Cam Sutton. Your second best, Emmanuel Mosley. Your third best, who's going to play in the nickel, Chauncey. Your top three corners were just added in free agency. This is going to tell us a lot, Adam. Not only about Jared, but about Dan Campbell as well. You have a 2-year window right now with Jared Goff before you have to decide if you're going to pay him or not. This is your time to capitalize. They're non-committal. You're still going to have money in the future, which is something that I praise Brad for. And that's why we always say, when we say Brad operates differently, this is why. You're not throwing money at guys. And if he does, like a Cam Sutton, you know it'll be a good payoff because, again, Cam Sutton playing some of his best football, 28 years old, and in his prime at the moment. And even what he's getting paid isn't bad. So for Brad, it's been timely moves. It's correct. He's not jumping the gun and signing guys, overpaying for guys. He's taking the time, feeling the free agency market. Chauncey didn't sign a deal yet. It was reported the Eagles offered him a 3-year deal. He took the Lions' offer instead to go play with Aaron Glenn, or for Aaron Glenn and Dan Campbell. And we'll see. This helps Tracy Walker as well. You have Tracy coming off an Achilles injury. This honestly takes more pressure off of Tracy. Now you get more guys in your secondary. It changes a little what they do in the draft, Adam, but the fact that they have assets in the draft in a month on top of what they did in free agency, the Lions got significantly better, and this is important because one thing I've been discussing for weeks now is how is this team going to handle these expectations? Because the last 2 seasons, you didn't have much. I mean, even last year, win 7 games. They won 9. Okay, you exceeded them. This year, it's different. Now you're looked at as legitimate contenders in the NFC. We all believe that. The team Offensively, we know what they have. Hopefully they can bring back Chark, but even if they don't, they draft a wide receiver. You got a pretty good offense. You upgraded the running back position at David Montgomery. You still are bringing back one of the better offensive lines in the league. You got Jared Goff. Say what you want about him. I might have went on a rant last week about Lamar and Goff, but all that being said, Goff can still win the division. He can still win a playoff game. You're giving him the necessary tools to be able to do that. Now, defensively is the big thing. You mentioned 8-2 down the stretch with that defense. Well, guess what? Defense got even better. You got Aiden, Josh Pascal, Ali McNeil, these guys getting better. And on top of that, you got your linebacker core, Malcolm Rodriguez, Alex Anzalone, which, again, they're all right. But this defense isn't complete. They're going to still be able to add in the draft. We'll see what they do. Maybe they trade up if they can land a Jalen Carter if he falls, or you can get a Will Anderson. Brad is not done cooking. And that's the big thing to take away. And if you look at the free agency signings, too, Chauncey, Emmanuel Mosley, Cam Sutton, 3 players from 3 different organizations, all respected. Cam Sutton played for Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. Chauncey, with the Eagles, played in the Super Bowl. You look at Emmanuel Mosley, very respected, played for DeMeco Ryans, played with the 49ers. DeMeco wanted him in Houston. Like, these are 3 guys that have, pedigree. That's the most important thing. You signed him for non-committal deals. You're still going to have money next offseason. What Brad is doing and how he's operating, along with the coaching staff, Sheila Hamp, it's different. Now, we'll see. They still got to go out and put it together. So the expectation thing, you want those expectations. We do. You want divisional expectations. You want NFC contenders, that type of expectation. Now they got to go out and do it. But it's a great. The fact that Brad was able to address all these holes before the draft, it's significant. Because I'm going to be honest, Adam, even though we talked about free agency, I didn't think Brad would go get big fish with this type of deal. You get one of the best free agents on the market for a 1-year non-committal deal, please. It's unreal what he's doing. It really is. It's impressive.
Actions speak louder than words. This is a front office, a football team, an organization that is very intentional on what they're doing. The intent behind it is very simple. They know very damn well that if they want to change the perception of the Detroit Lions, get the franchise to actually start accomplishing things, that they have to win. And they have to be serious about it. And that it's not only just working through the draft. There's many ways to win in the NFL. It typically comes from an excellent balance, of course, of free agents and young talent through the NFL draft. And you just so happen to see Brad Holmes bringing all of it to the table this year. We talked about it. Oh, well, would Brad Holmes be able to spend the money wisely? He's good in the draft. Well, here's your first sample, bitch, and he doesn't even have much money to spend. So we can eliminate that theory. Also, when anybody says Brad Holmes is the greatest GM in Detroit Lions history, that's not hyperbole. That's a fact. Mm-hmm. Granted, he's not competing with much, but that still is a fact. He's been excellent. It's on the coaching. It's on the players. They got to go out and execute. Oh, and hello? Yeah. Oh, I was just told that the Lions still have picks number 6, 18, 48, and 55. Oh, my goodness. What an offseason this is going to be. September couldn't come soon enough. My goodness. Flannel Sam, good morning, buddy. How you doing, man?
Oh, I'm a lot better now after last night. It's funny because the man who's usually in the booth, JB, the great JB, he's kind of like the Adam Schefter of this network. I saw it on my phone. Lions signed CJ Gardner-Johnson to 1-year, $8 million deal, and I couldn't believe it. I did a double take like both of you guys, that they actually got it done with a guy who was, at this point in free agency, sort of the prize. Mm-hmm. And they did it on a prove-it deal. It's unbelievable. What Brad Holmes has done this offseason is add Cam Sutton, Emmanuel Mosley, David Montgomery, and CJ Gardner-Johnson basically on team-friendly deals. 2 of them on prove-it deals and 2 of them on 3-year deals for relatively cheap. They're not hamstrunging their future. They're not going all in right now at the expense of the future. This is a team that is going to be instantly better next year. They completely reshaped their secondary from being one of their weaknesses to one of their strengths, at least on paper. And this is a team, like we all say, they should win the division. That's a non-negotiable right now. That is the absolute expectation.
And Sam, you're not from Michigan.
I'm
so
not.
I
You're not?
No, I'm from Illinois.
I value his input because think about it like this, too. For Chauncey, for Emmanuel Mosley, for DJ Chark, guys that take these flyer deals. Sam, when in Lions history, if you're a guy like Chauncey who, if you really want a one-year prove-it deal, I can name you 32 teams that would take it or that would offer you it. Why is it different? These guys choose the Lions because they think they are going to a situation where they could play some of their best ball and get paid. Tell me why it's different. Why are guys coming recently now with three guys I just named, Mosley, Chauncey, and DJ Chark? How significant is that? To come to Detroit and think that you can get paid from coming to Detroit, not being overpaid to come to Detroit, where careers most likely and sometimes often come to die. It's very different now, Sam.
No, you can't overstate the significance of it. I mean, everybody is aware around the league. I mean, the Lions sort of put the league on notice at the end of last season. They obviously started off the year very, very, very slow, but they rebounded. In the last 10 games, they were 8-2, and the defense improved. They went from a defense that was historically bad in the first 7 or so games to pretty damn good in the last 10. And that was with a defense that was still young. And if you add these veteran players, like completely reshaping their secondary, they're probably thinking, I can be a part of a defense that is, say, top 20, top 15 in the NFL, given the fact that the Lions already have an offense that was top 5 in scoring. These guys are all coming from winning organizations. Cam Sutton, Pittsburgh, Emmanuel Mosley, San Francisco, and CJ Gardner-Johnson, Philly. They're not trying to go lose. But they look at the Detroit Lions as a team that is coming, that is ascending, that can challenge teams that they were on the previous year for the NFC. This really is unlike anything I've ever seen in Detroit Lions history, and that is why in year 3, coming into his third offseason, Brad Holmes is undisputedly the greatest GM in Detroit Lions history already. Not close.
And I got to say, too, more credit. And I don't want this to get lost because Brad deserves a ton of credit, but also the fact that Aaron Glenn, and Dan Campbell deserves credit, too, but Aaron Glenn, what he's done, well, at least helping attract these guys. I mean, Emmanuel Mosley, Cam Sutton, and Chauncey, players that look at Aaron Glenn. And we gave Aaron Glenn some heat last year for what this defense looked like. But the fact that these guys, specifically the secondary players, the DBs, come to Detroit to play for Aaron Glenn and believe they can play some of their best football at him, it speaks volumes.
All right, here's what we're going to do. Lines are packed. Going to start taking calls when we get back. Give us 30, 40 seconds. We'll be back. Today's show, all about you guys. Phone lines are open. Call in your thoughts on the signing, your thoughts on this football team going into next year. Jeff and I want to know where you stand as Detroit Lions fans after last night. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at Swiss Insurance.
Well, be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Swiss can now make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance, give them a call and you won't be disappointed. Contact them, mark@swissins.com for more information.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Oh my God. Nothing better. By the way, switched up the flavor this morning. Last time it was grape mint. This morning it's white tropical gummy bear. Now for all of you that don't know, I'm sure you've all heard the stereotypes with white girls when they go to a local coffee shop and they get their hot latte, espresso, I don't know, with all the mixed shit in it. This is the Arab version. White tropical gummy bear. Fucking delicious. My God, I'm enjoying myself this morning. But Jeff, we got people on the line, people patiently waiting. Flannel Sam, who are you sending us first?
AG.
AG,
Just
you're
like
on the
Aaron
morning
Glenn.
show. Good morning, buddy. What do you got for us, man?
Hey, Jeff, Adam, man, what up, though?
What up, though? How you feeling?
Oh man, I feel good, man. You know, Jeff, you tweeted me back last night, man, off one of your tweets, and said Brad was cooking with jet fuel, bro. But
Yeah.
it's a great day to be a Lions fan, man. And like I'm with Adam, man. I'm 30, and you know, I've been a Lions fan since I started watching football, man. And like to see all these things transpire, man, it's huge for the city, and huge for Detroit sports in general because. You know, we've been struggling for a long time, man. So I feel real good. I'm a football guy first, so you know, like I'm thinking about looking at the season ticket packages, man.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the big thing, man. It's just different. Like, and I kind of talked about this earlier too. It's not just the signing itself, but what you signed him for. A 1-year, $8 million deal. The fact that, you know, Chauncey decided to come to Detroit to play here for 1 year, believing he can enter free agency next year and make money, meaning he can play well in Detroit. It's different, AG.
Yeah, and that can't be overstated, man. I mean, the dude just played in a Super Bowl. Super Bowl they probably could have won, you know, but, you know, obviously, like, the cards didn't flip that way for him, but the guy just played in the Super Bowl, you know, and Mosley was just on the Super Bowl or in the NFC Championship game team. You know, like these guys are like, and then Cam Sutton never had a losing season in his career playing under Mike Tomlin. And these guys, and Cam Sutton called the Lions. So these guys wanted to be in Detroit. The money that they took to be in Detroit, it proved that, man.
AG, you're spot on with that last part, and that was actually my next point. You know, this morning we're going to do a lot of Brad Holmes. We're going to do a lot about the free agents. But I think it's so important to acknowledge one human this morning as well. And I don't think it'll be overstated enough, but Dan Campbell. We talk about culture all the time in the NFL. Well, culture at the end of the day is getting a group of guys to believe in something, and then you're able to go succeed and accomplish something very special together. Well, technically under Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, they haven't accomplished anything yet. But the culture Dan Campbell has set from his first day in the door, whether I've had my doubts, I've had my issues, you can't understate the cultural impact that has allowed Brad Holmes to operate in free agency the way he has this offseason. I think Dan deserves a ton of credit this morning as well for establishing something. What it is, I don't know yet, but something that players clearly are attracted to and clearly want to be a part of. AG, appreciate the call this morning, man.
Yes, sir, AG. Appreciate you.
Keep up the great work.
Appreciate it, man. Flannel, I've had my doubts, but I don't think you can be an honest human and not say that Dan Campbell has had his hands in all of this as much as Brad Holmes. I think that'd be very unfair.
I mean, to an extent. I wouldn't say as much as Brad Holmes, but the improvement that the team showed with him last year down the stretch, the fact that the team didn't quit when they started 1-6, the fact that people clearly like to play for him. I mean, you saw Emmanuel Mosley say that in his press conference. Guys that have played for other great coaches like Kyle Shanahan, and on defense, Robert Saleh and D'Amico Ryans. They want to come play for Dan Campbell. And Dan Campbell, while we all had some doubts about him in the beginning, when you finish a season 8-2, which is playing some of the best football in all of the NFL, we have to give those doubts are erased. I know that this year there's a lot to prove, that they need to make the playoffs, need to actually live up to the expectations. But right now, Dan Campbell has become the toast of the town. Him and Brad Holmes. We think that we have our GM and coach for the next 5 to 10 years, and they can win. And we can win big with them.
All right, well, shoot us over the next call, Flannel. Who do we got on the line?
We have Nate.
Nate, you're on the morning show. Good morning, buddy. What do you got for us?
Morning, guys. What's going on?
Morning.
First time calling the show. I was down in Cincinnati. Been a Bengals fan for a while, but when I first started getting the Lions, it was Jim Caldwell, back half of his tenure, and then the dismal Matt Patricia era was just fucking awful.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, Dan Campbell comes in, doesn't have a lot to play with. Brad Holmes is still paying on Trey Flowers, Jamie Collins. And now the first year that he finally gets money, you just see the talent that he's able to acquire. And it's just so important for this city. And I think it's going to show a lot of whether or not AG can coach this defense with all this talent now, and whether Dan Campbell's the man for the job, I think.
Yeah, that was the point Adam made earlier, too. And that's what I respect about Brad. He sees a window. You see AG. You talk about AG, you're right. With this talent, you're going to see whether he can coach or not. But not only that, Jared Goff is a great one to bring up, because if you believe you can win with Jared Goff, which I think the Lions can, you'll find out this year. Dan Campbell, 9-8 last season, very impressive. Team got much better. Now with expectations, what can Dan do, especially with the wide-open NFC North? So I think you're spot on, Nate.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC North, man, I mean, it's ours for the taking. I mean, you got San Fran and Philly, and we're above Dallas now. I think we can go toe-to-toe with anybody in the NFC, and I think it's our year for the taking. If anybody screws it up, it's us. That's what it's going to be.
I love the accountability. Appreciate the call, Nate. Well done, buddy. Welcome back anytime.
Thank you.
And to your point about Dan, too, earlier, we're allowed to give Brad as much credit as possible, but it's not just going to play for a GM. You're going to play for a coach. So whether you're going with, yes, Brad signed Chauncey, but at the same time, Chauncey understood I'm going to play with 4AG and Dan Campbell. So, again, those guys deserve all the credit as well, or more credit than we probably discussed. But, Sam, can you send the next phone call through?
Absolutely. We have Eric.
Eric.
Good morning. What do you got for us, buddy?
What up, though, guys?
What up?
Man, loving this morning. It's funny, because last night when I looked at my phone, I'm walking in the room, I look at my phone, I'm like, oh, man, I'm sorry. I'm about to yell, pumping my fist. My wife looking, but I'm like, oh, damn, I can't sleep. I don't want to wake him up. So I'm pumping my fist. I'm like, yeah. So my wife looking, I'm like, man, Brad Holmes on one.
Yeah.
My wife had me watching some weird fucking series. I don't know whatever you call them last night. I had to spend some time with her. And as soon as I got the notification, I ran straight upstairs, got on Twitter, got dressed, went and picked up this nice fucking hookah, and I was just preparing for tomorrow's show. I couldn't believe that we were blessed on a Sunday night to get news like this. I got to say, Eric, expectations. I don't know how old you are, but to me, this is the first time, clearly, no debate, the Lions are the favorites in the North, and I think they're among the 3 best teams in the NFC right now. It's going to be a special year, no?
Very special year. I'm 43. So I have never seen them win a division. So it's like, if we say expectations, we say prove it. Well, right now, Brad Holmes like, Dan Campbell is trying to prove it. Jared Goff is trying to prove it. AG is trying to prove it. But one thing people is not mentioning, Brad Holmes has a lot of respect around the league with these players and Dan Campbell, where players they're glowing about playing for Dan Campbell. They're glowing about how they like Brad Holmes' approach to stuff. And Brad Holmes is not trying to fleece nobody. He's just giving dudes good deals.
Yeah, and that's the big thing, right? Previous GMs in Detroit, you're overpaying for guys like Chauncey, the best free agent on the market. Now with a culture in place, guys are attracted to that culture. That's credit to the coaching staff. It's credit to the players. But still, with Brad and what he's doing, non-committal deals, Eric. Remember, in previous regimes, too, you're giving guys all this money, Trey Flowers, you can keep going, and it ends up biting them in the ass. Now you got Chauncey, Emmanuel Mosley. Even if these guys don't play well, Eric, you can just move on, and you'll have plenty of money next year to spend. So you're right. They're operating differently, and now the pressure's on. So I'm excited to see what they do with these expectations. You'll find out a lot about a lot of different people.
And another thing we talked about, what Brad bringing in, winners, and he bringing in guys who got that dog, but also going to hold everybody else accountable.
Yep.
It's no more, oh, my bad, I missed that. No, you better get it together. Because we'll get somebody in here that will replace you quick and in a hurry.
Yeah. And
I'm excited for the draft. We know we got to get a deep tackle, but everything else is open. Let's go.
100%, man. Appreciate the call, buddy. Well done, man.
Thanks, Eric. Preaching facts.
All right, guys. Love y'all. Love the show. Be safe, y'all.
Yep, appreciate
it, man. Let me tell you, as I light my my next line of charcoal, I'm already through 4 charcoals, by the way.
Dude, you're going.
And you know what? I don't plan on being able to function at work today. So everybody in the back, everybody watching at home that works with the team here at the network, don't fucking at me. Don't message me in Slack. I'm a different human today. I'm not doing anything. Today I'm not fucking working. I'm doing my show, and I don't give a shit what happens after. I am going to get so toasted on the show. I have 0 regrets already. I already know what's going to happen. What a great start to the day. What a great morning. Thank you to everybody tuning in, by the way. Here's what we're going to do. Flannel, let's take one more call. We'll take a break after, and then we'll revisit all the other callers. Who do we got on the line now?
We have Kyle.
All right, Kyle, you're on the morning shows. Gardner-Johnson to Detroit. What do you think, buddy?
Man, well, good morning. We're going to start off with a good morning.
Well, that's polite of you.
Good morning.
Man, what a great day to be a Michigan sports fan. What a great day. I mean, I'm talking, it started yesterday with the Spartans beating up Marquette.
Yep.
Then it turned into me meeting my favorite goaltender of all time in Alex Nedeljkovic and getting his signature and fist bumping the guy. Now it's on to Monday. And then is it a great Monday? Can you please hit that hookah for me?
I am currently
hit that hookah for me.
Give me 20 seconds.
He'll do it for you, Kyle. You're spot. You had a good day yesterday.
Dude, I had a fantastic day, man. Like, yesterday and now into today. Like, how great could this Monday be? It's looking like this draft is going to be one giant, how do you say, like, we can do whatever we want. It's all just, like...
Well, Kyle,
it's all one big luxury pick.
Yes, you're right. It opens up flexibility. Like if Brad wants to trade up or trade back, like whatever Brad wants to do, you address more of these positions, so you're not tied.
So
to
you and I have had
quarter.
the discussion on we shouldn't take a quarterback in the first round because I don't want to waste a pick on a quarterback in the first round. No, I don't care about wasting a pick on a quarterback in the first round.
Okay,
no,
Kyle?
I don't. I honestly don't care. I don't care.
All right, that's what I like to hear.
It's amazing.
See, free agency changes things for you. Free agency change because think about it. A couple weeks ago, Kyle, we're talking about they need a corner at 6, or they trade back and get a corner. Boom. A couple weeks later, you got Chauncey, Emmanuel Mosley, Cam Sutton.
Well, we were debating whether it was a corner or a defensive tackle or an edge.
Yep.
And now we're just like, man, let's just take whatever we want now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how great could this day be?
Adam's hitting it for you.
Oh, thank you,
That
Adam.
one's for you, man. That one's for you.
That one,
I gotta say,
from the bottom of my heart, man. Thank you, brother.
I gotta say, Kyle, I've been a part of a lot of mornings since being here at Woodward Sports, and even prior. I mean, before any of this was even a thing, just at home, just like all of you, watching games, waking up on Monday, pissed off. I can't recall a better Monday. I can't.
Right?
I know it's a free agent signing, but it's an accumulation of so many things. It is Emmanuel Mosley. It is all these guys that have been added to the group. It is the investment in David Montgomery, who is a younger back than Jamaal Williams, who, by the way, Jamaal Williams, a complete bitch and fraud.
Oh, my God.
But we'll get to that later on in the show. I have my own issues with what the hell
Wasn't it his
conference.
agent that shafted him on that? Wasn't he offered pretty much the same contract?
It was reported he was offered the same contract. I don't want to get too much into it, only because I
Right,
want to hear
right,
what you guys have to say about this for now. But yeah, we'll get to that in about a half hour. But man, look, Kyle, there haven't been many better mornings than this. I can imagine clinching the playoffs for the first time with Schwartz was probably something. I can imagine the first year with Caldwell, a lot of hype, but I don't recall ever anything like this. This team is the clear favorite.
I'm 34.
In the North,
this is the most hype I've ever been about this team.
Speaks volumes. Appreciate the call,
I'm 34,
Kyle.
man. This is the most hype I've ever been about this team.
As you should
I'm
be.
excited for September.
As you should be, Kyle.
As we are too, Kyle.
Appreciate the call, man.
Right?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Welcome back.
Yeah, have a good morning.
You too. That's exactly what I expected, by the way.
Yeah,
everybody that's going to call.
The most common theme you're hearing is I'm the most excited about this season.
Whether you're a season ticket holder, whether you attend a few games a year, or you just like to sit at home and enjoy it from the TV experience, that's fine. But call in and tell me why you're as excited as you are this morning. I know it's the signings. I know there's so much that goes into it, but you tell me. Some of you have been watching this team longer than I have. Please enlighten me this morning on whether or not you've ever seen this. Because I would argue you haven't. So let's take a break, and then we'll get back to callers. When we get back, we'll continue the call conversations. Top of the hour, I do want to address the Jamaal Williams press conference. What a load of shit, by the way. We'll get to that next, but before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Planet Fitness. Sign up today, $10 a month. What are you waiting for? No stress. It's a judgment-free zone. Get in the gym, take care of your physical and mental health. Planet Fitness, no better way to start. Go to a local Planet Fitness near you or by visiting them at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Ooh, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live. WoodwardSports.com. As always, miss the show live. You can always watch it later, of course. Download our podcast, whether it's on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, you will be able to find the morning show this morning. Jeff, my goodness, what a start to the morning. Appreciate everybody here. Here's what we're going to do. Flannel Sam, let's continue the calls. I'm going to put my feet up. Flannel, I'm going to enjoy every single caller, and I'm going to smoke the living shit out of this thing, and no one's going to tell me otherwise. Fair?
Absolutely, as you should. First on the line, we have John.
John, welcome to the show, my man. What do you want to discuss?
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing, man?
Good, good.
Hey, this is my second time actually getting on the show. I was on one of the ones towards Fish's shows towards his ending, and we was talking about the hot dogs or whatnot, but I won't get into details.
So, John, you go from hot dog discussions to now Chauncey signing with the Lions.
Yeah. I just wanted you guys to remember who I was, but it is a lovely day, and when I woke up and seen all that stuff, it's a weird feeling for us Michiganders. I mean, I can admit that, and but I just got three things, man, and I'll make them simple because last time we had a good time. I was kind of running my mouth, but three things. You remember the linebacker that talked a little bit of mess about nobody wanting to come to Detroit, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot his name because since he's not a Detroiter, I guess he's not,
Micah
you
Parsons.
don't want to say his name. He ain't important right now. So, and how many people do we have signed with us? Three that came from three different places, so he could pretty much shut his mouth. And then two, Sheila, the owner, I know everybody want to keep saying, the guys, but, if it wasn't for women, man, we wouldn't be here. So let's just give Sheila, her due.
Absolutely.
And that was my second point because none of it would be, would happen if she didn't start caring, But and three, you know what I'm saying? My last thing was just this new era that we're in. I just hope that everybody sit back and enjoy it, smoke their hookah, wear their sunglasses at night or in the morning on Monday morning. And I just wanted to say, I mean, everything seems good now, and it's all about putting it together, man.
Absolutely, John.
And I really, really do want that linebacker to shut his mouth now. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, look, he can kiss my ass because, we've been a shit franchise for about 25 years, and in the last 25 years, we've made as many NFC championship games as they have, which is a big zero. Right. So Dallas can suck my balls this morning like I give a shit about the Dallas Cowboys. I don't give a shit. Texas, probably a great place to live. I wouldn't mind living there maybe one day, who knows, but, their football team, they can suck my dick, to be honest, John.
Appreciate you, John, man, coming
and
in, dropping facts, dude.
Right. Don't you guys think now that, I mean, and like I said, this is just my last point because I've always wanted to say this on a talk show, but don't you guys think Dallas is no longer the America's team?
No, they've never been. They've never been.
I mean,
that's
that just kind of rubs me the wrong way, sometimes,
Yeah, I don't get offended. If Jeff wants to identify as a fucking couch, then you know what? Power to him. I'm still going to call him Jeff, but, if he thinks he's a couch, he's a fucking couch.
I appreciate that.
The Cowboys think they're America's team. You know what? I think the Lions are the greatest franchise in NFL history. What does that mean,
Right. Well, I'm 44, so, I've heard other callers say this, but I've seen a lot of Detroit since I was 4 years old, man. I mean, I've been a All-Michigan fan since 4 years old. Your Pistons, Lions, Tigers, Red Wings, blah, 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 U of M. So, and this is great feeling, man. And, this new Detroit era, that's all I could say as far as Lions.
It's a new chapter.
You just got to sit back and enjoy it, brother.
Exactly.
That's all we can do.
It's a new chapter. Enjoy it. Embrace it. Be optimistic this offseason. You have a million reasons to be optimistic. So appreciate the call, John. Right. Well done. And welcome back anytime, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I appreciate you guys. I love the sunglasses.
Let's go, John. Appreciate you.
All right. Have a good one.
Yep. See,
pure optimism.
A great point by John, too, about Sheila. The fact that she's, gave more power to Brad and Dan and kind of just stepped back and allowed them to operate, let the football people handle most of the control. All credit goes to Sheila Ford-Hamp, too. So because, again, she could very much so be a lot more involved, have a lot more say in what goes on from a day-to-day operation. So good point, John. Sheila deserves a lot of credit.
I don't hate it. I still think you have to prove a lot of things before you get the admiration for certain people. But
I guess
again,
admiration for the process.
I do
Maybe
think
not
it's
the results.
fair. They're doing it the right way. They're doing it better than they ever have. And not only they're doing it the right way, this is a very important point. They're doing it the way the hyper-successful teams do it around the NFL.
Right.
It was the Eagles a few years ago that signed all these very same players while still drafting and building their core and then eventually making their runs. Similar to the Niners, but the Niners, I mean, God bless them. They have an all-pro at basically every position. It's kind of ridiculous. But let's continue with the calls. Flannel Sam, who do we have on this morning? Flannel?
Yes, we have Hassan.
All right, Hassan, you're on the morning show. What's up, brother?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
Always
good morning.
Good.
I just want to say, let Brad Holmes cook, man.
Yes.
I'm so excited for the season. We should be the favorites to win the North.
Damn right.
And I think that he's pretty much guaranteed Aaron Glenn the head coaching job next year.
Mm.
And I'm just so excited with the draft and everything coming up. And I just trust Brad Holmes. I just trust him. And I think he's the best GM by far in Detroit Lions history.
Hassan, the fact that you just said that, I trust Brad Holmes, name me another time you can confidently say, I trust, in blank. Blank meaning who's ever running in the GM of the Detroit Lions. It's very new. And Brad has done nothing but show you that. But, again, they have to go put it together and win games, contend for the division, win a playoff game. All that stuff has to happen. But the fact that you just said that, Hassan, I think that means everything, that you trust Brad.
I trust him with all my heart. I can't name another GM that has made the right moves. I trust the process. And I just want him to cook. Cook some more for me, man. That's all
Absolutely.
I got to say, man.
And he'll keep doing it. And remember, next year, guys, all these signings are fun and it's cool. You're going to have to pay a few of your rookies that are going to be coming up on their deals in a little bit. But still, at the end of the day, you're going to have one of the highest salary caps available next year. And you're going to be okay. It's going to be okay, and that's what good teams do. Mm-hmm. They figure it out. Brad Holmes is going all in this year on Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. They're going to go for the North. They're going to go for hosting that playoff game, and they're going to go for winning a playoff game. I don't think saying they have to win a playoff game is too much of an expectation. You are clearly one of the three best teams in the NFC right now. I don't know a team that got much better around the league, let alone the NFC, than the Detroit Lions, who's gotten significantly better. You have a top 5 offense. You're now threatening with a top 12, 13, 14 defense, depending on what you do in the draft. We're talking about some serious business going on here in Detroit. I'm very excited to watch this football team come September.
Same, man. I just think we should win the North. That should be our first goal. Get that playoff game, home game.
100%.
And we'll see what we can do from there.
When we win that playoff game, Hassan, you got to call back.
Yes, sir.
Welcome back anytime, brother. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Yep, you too.
8:54 on a Monday morning after the Detroit Lions sign CJ Gardner-Johnson.
Brad Holmes cooking a barbecue. All Lions fans are in attendance. We're just letting him cook.
How is it this easy for us, honestly? This is night and day to what we're used to, and I'm very, very, very optimistic about the future. They control their own destiny.
Mm-hmm.
If they fail this season, that is on them. If they succeed this season, it is on them. They get the praise and they'll get the blame. It's all in their hands. Flannel Sam, who do we got next, buddy?
We have James.
James, good morning, buddy. How you doing? What do you got for us?
I'm doing very good. I'm not as well as you. I just have my Aston Churchill cigar puffing with you right now.
Let's go. My man.
And I lit one up last
Great
night
choice.
after the Spartans kicked ass.
Great
So
choice.
I'm a very happy man.
Yeah, Sam Flannel's in the booth shaking his head, James. He unfortunately had a pretty upsetting day yesterday, but you seem to be having a great day, and today you're having a great day. So,
Hey, I'm the guy with the socks as old as you guys from last week. I'm trying not to get too happy because I've had 60 years of angst.
Right.
But I am getting a little bit.
Right, and I respect the discipline because unlike you, we're over here assuming the Lions are going to go far in the NFC, but rightfully so. Roster-wise, they look good, James.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and like I said, I have to, say I'm looking forward to Thursday now.
Oh yeah, they'll be on prime times.
Yep.
They'll be on prime times. Can't wait for the upcoming draft cycle. We'll get to all the speculation, but James, I do appreciate the call. Enjoy your cigar this morning, and congratulations, by the way, on Michigan State getting to the Sweet 16.
Yes, sir.
Okay, keep having a great one.
Yep. You know what? Honest to God, you know what I want to do right now? We'll move on from callers. We'll get to Michigan State, obviously, ending their horrendous 2-tournament drought where they couldn't get out of the opening weekend. I know that is such a crime, for some schools, given they actually have standards. But, hey, you know what? Juwan Howard and Michigan, they did their best choke job that they could do to get knocked out of the NIT. But who gives a shit, right? It's Michigan. Nobody cares about Michigan basketball. They suck right now. Juwan Howard has taken their program and completely turned it on its head. Shame on him. Shame on them. What a disaster, but shout out to Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans. Well done. Gutsy win against Marquette. Way to be. On to the Sweet 16. It's March, and we all know what happens in March with Tom Izzo. It's going to be a great rest of the week. We got a lot of action, but we got to take a break. When we get back, if you guys don't mind, bear with me. But I have a few things to get off my chest this morning about how the Lions have conducted themselves in free agency and how it led to a fan favorite leaving town and his interesting comments on this organization. We'll get to that moving forward in just a few minutes. But before we go, I got to tell you about my good friends over at Cousins Maine Lobster. Celebrate your Monday with some lobster tacos and clam chowder soup by scanning that QR code. Find out where their food trucks are located today. Give them a try. Let them know I sent you from Woodward Sports. CousinsMainLobster.com. We'll see you guys just back in a little bit.
Saturdays at 1 p.m. Make sure you're watching WoodwardSports.com for our new show, Chompin' Puck.
He shoots! He scores!
With 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty and Michael Gentry, Chompin' Puck is taking the Detroit hockey community and giving them a voice. Pros to Joes. You'll get the best Detroit hockey coverage around. Chompin' Puck. Saturdays 1 p.m. on WoodwardSports.com.
You're about to be shell-shocked. The catch of the day is in. Big Boy Seafood Fest is officially back. Join us for some of your favorites like our popcorn shrimp and pike perch platters and our classic fish and chips. This year, we've reeled in some fresh catches like our shrimp Alfredo, shrimp stir-fry, and our fish sandwich. And especially, don't forget about our all-you-can-eat Friday night fish fry buffet. Every day is a fish fry at Big Boy.
My name is Lee. I've lost 35 pounds on the Custom Health Center program. So the 3 biggest benefits that I've gotten from this program has been I'm not snoring anymore, I have a lot of energy, it's great, and oh, by the way, look at this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
Life's good. Life is good.
Exciting times.
What a few weeks it's been for the Detroit Lions. But you know what? I want to talk about Jamaal Williams for a little bit. Jamaal Williams signs with the New Orleans Saints, no problem at all. You guys know how I felt about him even being re-signed. I didn't think it was that important for a goal line back. You've looked at the last 4 Super Bowl champions. None of them have been ranked higher than 20th in terms of total rushing per game among the league. It's just not the most important position in football. You need to be able to run situationally, but that's not the point this morning.
Right.
The point is Jamaal Williams endeared himself to this fan base. Jamaal Williams tricked all of you into believing that he cared about you and that he wanted to be here and that there was nothing more important than being a Detroit Lion and what they were building here in Detroit, until he was offered a very similar contract to David Montgomery, which I'm shocked, but regardless, he was offered, he declined. That's his right. I have no problem with him declining it. Hell, I have no problem with Jamaal Williams leaving and going to New Orleans, even if it's for less money. It's all irrelevant this morning. What I have a problem with is that this fraud, which is exactly what he is, by the way, he is a fraud, sold you on how much he loves Detroit. He sold it. He's a salesman. He loves it. Well, couldn't imagine being anywhere else. They're gonna win. And then he does a press conference in New Orleans saying, oh man, it's really good to be in a place that actually knows how to win. It's good to be in a place that respects me and my value. You know, I did feel that. I felt, you bitch, I felt that the Detroit Lions disrespected me with their offer because I ran in 17 touchdowns behind one of the best offensive lines in football from 2 yards out. I felt disrespected. Fuck you, you fraud. How dare you? Now maybe I'm the only one that's really upset about it. Maybe it is just me. But my God, it irritated the living shit out of me that he would actually sit on that podium. And instead of taking the normal professional route of saying I appreciated my time in Detroit, I really enjoyed my time there. Nothing but respect to what they're building. This was the better move for me. I would have no issue with that.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to sit there and criticize the organization? Criticize an organization that has clearly made A+ moves all off season, including releasing your ass and not offering you what, quote, you thought you were worth. You were never worth $7 million a year, let alone $6, buddy. So go enjoy being in New Orleans, because while the New Orleans Saints will be lucky to even be a wild card team this year, the Lions are going to be winning the North and winning playoff games and contending without you. And they'll be better off with David Montgomery than they were with you. And may I remind you, your shitty 4.1 yards a game didn't impress anybody. So to attack this organization because they were smart enough not to give you what you and your agent, quote, felt like you were worth. Fuck yourself. What a fraud. What a hoax. Completely full of shit. I don't want to hear anything about Jamaal Williams and how he cared about. It's not about the business side, because he took less money to be in New Orleans. It's not about the business side, which I can respect, Jeff. You don't get to sit up there after taking less money going to a worse team and criticize the Lions organization. Fuck off.
Well, the quote he used, and this is where I do kind of push back, not against you, but against Jamaal. He quote, and this is what he said in the press conference, "I'm just grateful to be here and be a part of a team that already knows how to win and already knows what to do." Well, Jamaal, if you didn't know,
they were the Aints before, buddy.
Well, hold on. If you didn't know Jamaal, Sean Payton's in Denver. I didn't know if you got the hint. It's Dennis Allen. And by the way, Dennis Allen, his career record as a head coach is 15-38. So we'll revisit that quote at a later time. But to Jamaal's credit, and the reason why I do give him some sympathy is because he fell in love with the organization. And again, this is what's different also about the Lions. We love Jamaal. We talked about it. As a character, what he did on the field, all that's great. But let's be honest. What you paid David Montgomery, you paid for a younger, better, more dynamic running back for a little bit more than Jamaal. It was a great deal. And Jamaal has to understand, and he does, but more so his agent.
Clearly he doesn't.
Well, it's really, if I'm being honest, I think it was more so his agent giving him advice than Jamaal himself, and it's bad advice.
His agent didn't tell him what to say at the podium.
No, the podium is different. Right, the quote, I
don't have a problem with the contract.
The contract thing, it's like, okay, you're with New Orleans, you're going to get another opportunity. It is what it is. Jamaal clearly, we know how much he loved Detroit. But Brad Holmes, this is what's different. Doesn't fall in love with players. I love that. That's another sign that Brad operates differently, and that's what good teams do. You don't fall in love with characters. You fall in love with talent. He didn't fall in love with Jamaal because he's funny, he's outgoing, he's a team leader. That stuff does matter, but when you go replace him with a David Montgomery, you go out and you address other free agents as well. Brad's doing it the right way. And again, for Jamaal's sake, they upgraded. It's as simple as that. They got a better running back.
From the Lions' perspective, to be honest, we shouldn't even care. I could care less about losing Jamaal Williams. What frustrates me is you sold this fan base on your stupid Pokemon shit, your fucking anime shit.
Okay, well...
all of the bullshit that came with you, you sold that you loved and you were part of Detroit. If you loved and you were part of Detroit so much, even for business reasons, that you left, that's not how you leave. You don't sit up there in a New Orleans press conference taking less money, dissing your former organization. It's unprofessional, it's classless, and it shows you're a fraud. So yeah, very happy this morning that they didn't re-sign him. Very happy that he was offended and left, because I don't want those type of football players on my team. Part of my community. Part of my city.
And I love this comment too. Funky, WoodwardSports.com. He says, this whole thing with Jamaal is huge for the future. It tells agents that Brad won't be strong-armed.
Who can you compare him to right now in this town? There's only one.
You know who?
Steve Eisman. He is operating at that level. His intent, how shrewd he is in business. You don't get to come to the Detroit Lions anymore and get overpaid.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it works anymore.
The first move was Kenny Galladay, technically. Remember, he let him go. Giants paid that price. Now it's like you're not overpaying. You're not falling in love with players. I love it. Operating like a real business.
Am I going to put $6 million a year into a running back who's going to give me 4 yards a carry that can't catch out of the backfield? No. Do I love the Montgomery contract? It's really only $11.5 million guaranteed, so I can live with it for 3 years. It's fine,
and
whatever.
I think there's an out in the third year, maybe, so it doesn't even matter.
Going in, yes. But to me, again, it's irrelevant. Run the ball correctly, effectively, situationally. I don't need a top 10 run game. It's been proven for the last 5, 6, 7 years you don't need a top running game. You need to be able to run the ball situationally. So to move on from Jamaal Williams and his fraudulent ass, I'd like to enjoy myself today. And I'd like to enjoy the Detroit Lions going out and having an excellent free agency period. I'd like to go out and enjoy the fact that all of you, alongside myself, Jeff and Flannel Sam and Alex and everybody here at Woodward Sports this morning, that we get to talk about a Detroit Lions team that it is no longer, if they do this in the draft, they'll be the favorites. Bitch, pre-draft, they're the prohibitive favorites in the North.
It's true.
Pre-draft, they already have the third best roster in the NFC. All pre-draft. I'm not going to discredit the Eagles. I'm not going to discredit the Niners. Both have qualities that I really, really respect and admire. But the Lions are coming. And that is Brad Holmes. And it started with the Mosley contract to me. Sutton was nice. You knew they had to do that.
Yeah.
It was the Mosley signing where you sat there and said, oh, they're going to be loaded this year. And now you had Gardner-Johnson. And now you think to yourself, they're all 1 years, non-committal. Maybe they'll bring back Chark. You're not giving up a ton of cap space in the future. You're still going to have well over $100 million next year to spend.
Mm-hmm.
This is a team that recognizes for the 23-24 season, we are among one of the better teams in the NFC. So here's how we're going to get better. Here's how we're going to fix our flaws. Oh, by the way, we haven't even gotten to the draft. And I'm going to make sure, as the GM, I'm going to make sure my head coach and my quarterback have zero excuses this year. And I'm not trying to sound negative. I'm not trying to be, quote, that guy. I'm just giving you reality. If the Lions can't win the North or make the playoffs this year, it is a massive failure on Dan Campbell and Jared Goff. Pending, obviously, they're all healthy this season, injuries happen, but let's imagine a scenario where the Lions are relatively healthy compared to the rest of the NFL. They don't lose Jared Goff. He plays a full season like you expect him to always. If they don't win the North, that already is a failure. If they don't make the playoffs, it is a complete disaster.
Yep.
Brad Holmes has put the, quote, no excuse card on the table. Dan, you have no excuse. Jared, you have no excuse. We believe in you, Jared. We believe in you, Dan. Go do it this year.
I would even one up you. I think a playoff game minimum. You got to win a. I mean, last year the Giants won a playoff game with that roster. Yes, they beat the Vikings, and I've talked for months about how much of a fraud that team was. But still, the fact that Brian Daboll, you won a playoff game. Yes, he got obliterated by the Eagles. They did that year one. So, yes, winning the North is important. If you host a game, obviously it's different. But even if you squeeze into the playoffs, you got to win a playoff game. It's just different. And Brad Holmes, look at the first season with Brad. You watched the Detroit Lions offense. They need wide receivers. Okay, goes out. DJ Chark, Jameson Williams. This past season, well, they're lacking in the secondary. You're going to need to add talent. Okay, Emmanuel Mosley, Cam Sutton, Chauncey, Gardner-Johnson. Brad Holmes, his ability to pivot, fill holes quickly, it's impressive. With all relatively cheap, non-committal, risk-free deals.
Mike Hart and Jay Wolfan both share very similar comments. I'm good with Jamaal gone, but why the disrespect? And then the other comment is, I don't care that Jamaal is gone, but don't make stuff up. I'm not at all. I went by his words and what he said in this press conference. He decided to attack the Lions organization in his introductory press conference to New Orleans. I didn't tell him to do that.
Yeah, nobody told him to do that.
That is his problem.
Yeah, those were his words.
So he's nothing but a fraud. And I'm disgusted this morning that I have to look at the Lions record books and see Jamaal Williams over Barry Sanders for single-season rushing touchdowns. It makes me sick. It makes me sick. But what can you do?
Maybe you'll break it this year with David Montgomery.
How about Brad Holmes also, by the way, adding a quality special teamer? That went a little bit unnoticed under the radar after, obviously, the Gardner-Johnson
signing.
From
the Rams, long snapper.
Yep. So, to me, this is about Lions taking that next step to becoming a legitimate franchise.
Adam, I know you loved yesterday. You know why?
Why is that?
Because it clarifies a little bit what you want to do with that first pick. With 6, if you trade back.
You know what?
To me, it's Jalen Carter.
I don't think you can trade back.
If you stay there, to me, if Carter's not there, you're going to have to really consider Kalijah Kancey. Like, I'm sorry. The last thing this team needs, an interior defensive line. You dropped it.
The only soft spot on this defense right now, you could argue, is that interior. It's only really Aleem McNeil with the mixture of Aiden Hutchinson, who can always line up inside.
Bugs is all right.
John Kaminsky can line up inside. Yeah, that's all great, but you're going to want to go out and get that guy. Yeah. I think Kancey is that guy. Again, I am holding my Carter my Jalen Carter opinion.
Yeah.
I have reservations at the moment. Could he change? Could he show the want? There's a lot of things to get taken care of over from now till the draft, which is in late April.
Yeah, linebacker, interior defensive lineman, let's roll.
But look,
another wide receiver.
Here's what we're going to do. We're going to open back up the phone lines, all right? 313-552-6322. Now that the Lions, I would imagine, have completed most of their free agent business outside of Chark, who is reported to go to Carolina, along with Adam Thielen. That was confirmed, but Chark is still to be determined. Mm-hmm. We'll see what happens. But forget free agency, Detroit, and everybody listening. Call in, and what I want to know this morning from you is, what do you want to see the Detroit Lions do in the NFL draft? That could be taking a quarterback. That could be trading out of 6 for a future 1. That could be moving back a few slots just for some extra capital to maybe move up next year. Or that could be staying put or trading up. I am open to everything all of you have to say this morning. So Flannel Sam will take the calls while we go to break. But before we go, Jeff, our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency.
The Sports Marketing Agency helps spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the S Word, helps fight the stigma about seeking help. If you or someone you know is struggling, tell them to head to thesportsma.com for more information.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Jeff Iafrate here. Let me tell you about our friends over at the Fulling Warehouse in Hamtramck, because it's the home of the original football bowling game. 2 to play for $12, the unlimited open play, or you can pay $120 for a lane reservation for up to 10 people. $2 mystery beer machine, full bar. Check it all out, fullingwarehouse.com.
All right, we are back here on the Morning Woodward Show live, woodwardsports.com. Jeff, how you feeling this morning, buddy?
I'm feeling great. It is awesome to discuss the Lions in a positive light, especially during free agency period where we didn't think they'd go out and make big splashes. But Adam, you take Emmanuel Mosley on a flyer, you got Chauncey on a flyer, Cam Sutton on a relatively, not too expensive deal. Brett Holmes is continuing to cook, bringing back guys that are important, upgrading positions. It's impressive. It makes me excited for this fall, really.
I've been smoking my hookah all morning. You know what I realized? I got some great socks on this morning.
What kind of socks you got on?
I got some American socks. I've got the classic American style going on here. I'm feeling great. We're going to get to callers. I want to know what all of you think. Honest to God. What do you want in the draft? And I'm not saying what you're going to tell me is right or wrong, or what you're going to tell Jeff is right or wrong. I'm not going to do that this morning. What I'm going to ask, again, I'm asking. I want your opinions. I want to know the vibe in this city. I want to know where all of your heads are at. What's going on with this team? You've seen the free agent moves. You see the draft capital coming up. What would you like to happen? Flannel Sam, who's first on the line?
All right, first on the line we have Kyle.
All right, Kyle, you are on the morning show. What do you got for us, buddy? What would you like to see?
Hey, guys, I would love to see us trade Swift for a running back. Actually, hold on. Hey, Brad, I need another key. I need another kilo. Give me some Brad Holmes. I'm two keys in this draft and or this free agency. I'm about to be another key for the draft, guys.
No, it's an exciting time, and even your suggestion. But you say you trade Swift for a running back?
Yes, sir. Because I feel like we can't get a whole season out of Swift. Trade him to the Bills for like a late second, maybe a third. And if we do a third, trade our
Kyle, with all due respect, if I was the Bills GM and you called me and you told me, hey, Adam, give me a late second, early third for DeAndre Swift, I would hang up on you immediately. I would send a bouquet of dead flowers to your house, and I would put your name on it for your wife.
Give me a 7. Get Swift out of here.
Give me a 7.
Look,
I
get
it.
it.
I'll pay the GM like $10 million for the next 3 years.
Yeah.
To get Swift out of here because I don't want him on the roster. I don't want him.
You don't want him on the roster at all? You're that fed up with Swift?
No, sir.
But can we all agree?
I'm
And Kyle, I think you're going to appreciate this. Can we all agree? When Swift is available and healthy, he's a top 10 back in the league. I think we can all acknowledge that. The problem is he's never available.
But you're saying top 10 back in the league when he's healthy. I think any other running back would be a top 10, maybe even a top 5 running back behind this O-line.
Well, we're going to see that with David Montgomery this year.
Yes, sir.
And they'll probably draft him.
And then also, I think we need to get a right guard in the draft. I know there's 1 or 2 really good ones in the draft. I think if we don't get rid of Swift, trade back into the first, so we'll have 3 first-rounders and pick one of them O-linemen up.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's going to be an interesting conversation. I've been hearing a lot of O-lineman talk over the weekend, but I appreciate the call, Kyle. Well done, buddy.
Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy, man. You know, again, you know how I feel about running backs in the first round. It's absolutely a big no for me until the league changes and it goes back to how it was in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s. Until then, I'm not interested.
Unless there's somebody there that's worth taking.
Don't be a
And that's where we differentiate.
Don't be a crackhead. Flannel, you're killing me here. Who's next on the line, buddy? Who do we got?
All right, we have Terrell. He's been waiting for the longest, so I'm gonna put Terrell on.
God bless you. Appreciate you waiting on the line patiently.
Terrell from FL.
What would you like to see this morning, buddy?
I want to apologize because I'm going to ignore you again for a second. I got to talk to my boy Jeff real quick.
Okay.
Oh, God, what's up, Terrell?
Jeff's a sexy guy. I don't blame you.
What's up?
Jeff, are you ready for this shit, bro? We're going to go straight Madden in the draft now. This is going to be fucking awesome. I can't wait.
Yes.
We're going to go AR with the 6th pick, and then we're going to go Beydoun at 18, and then we're going to draft 2 wide receivers in the 2nd. Boy, this is going to be fucking lit. And then we're going to turn the salary cap off. That way we can pay them all in 3 years.
Wait.
Ready?
Terrell, what? We just had a combo last week, Terrell, about Lamar versus Goff, and now you want AR at 6?
Oh my God!
Fuck yeah, bro.
I thought Goff was the best. I thought Goff was the best in the NFL. That's what I was told.
I love when Terrell calls.
Bro, when the GOAT, when Brad the GOAT, he just set up the defense. Now we could, like I said, we could just go straight Madden in the draft, bro. It's gonna be lit. I can't wait. No arguments for me now. Yeah, because fuck Swift. Swift is terrible. Any running back is going to be a top 5 running back behind this line, right? That's what I just heard on the phone. Come on now.
Wait.
That's the same logic that we use with Jared Goff, man. Like, any quarterback's going to be a top 5 quarterback just because they have a good line. That's the way it works, but okay.
Terrell. Okay, and by the way, it's not just you; it's Kyle as well. What's up with the Swift hate? Like, I get if you're like, he can't stay healthy. Everyone just wants to get rid of Swift for like a bag of chips. Like, what happened?
I have no clue. I love Swift. I understand the dude's been hurt. There's been all kinds of people that have been hurt before and then came out and played well. Like, I don't know, Stafford did the same thing. He got hurt and then he went 8 years and didn't miss a game. So It's not like this is unheard of or anything, where people get hurt in the beginning of their career and then have a good career afterwards. But I guess Swift just sucks. I don't fucking know. I can't explain these people, bro. It makes no fucking sense to me.
I can't believe people just think he stinks. Like that's.
I don't think it's that.
That's a little too.
I know we're
that's
having
ridiculous.
fun this morning. It's a great morning, but look,
Yeah.
I think everybody acknowledges Swift is a top 10 back in the league when he's healthy. The frustration is he's never available all the time.
He's very talented.
That's why you went out and got David Montgomery. You're going to have him. It's going to be a good tandem. If Swift, for any reason, again fails to be healthy this year, you're not committed on him. He was a second-round pick. There's no fifth-year option to pick up. You can just let him go, or you can re-sign him on a cheap deal. I mean, again, I'm not too concerned.
Exactly.
To me, the running back issue won't be solved in the draft. If they want to take a flyer in the 5th round, cool. But I'm not entertaining a running back in the 1st or 2nd round.
Nah, I do have a serious point, though, I wanted to make for you guys. My favorite part of this whole thing is that the organization is moving to a place where we can turn this, we can turn this team into what the Patriots used to be, where these guys that are hurt, will come in and they'll sign these short deals, and we'll be able to keep rebuilding every single year and keep filling the roster with talent, because the culture is going to be so good that people are they will take those 1-year deals to come and prove it and play with us, and we'll be able to reload year after year without raping the salary cap. That's what I'm really excited about watching this stuff. I love these guys, man. So I'm with y'all. I'm hyped.
And part of that, Terrell, too, is winning. Like, right, if you're continuing to win games, if they're in that conversation, more free agents are going to want to come here for 1-year deals. Kind of like what the Eagles were able to do. They drafted well. They had a good team. Guys are joining to go play, or they're acquiring guys that want to play for the Eagles. So I'm with you, Terrell. This is the start. If they go out this year and have a minimum, they win. Let's say they win 11 games. They maybe win a playoff game. You're absolutely correct. More and more of these Gardner, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson deals, they'll happen more and more often.
Yep, and this is another thing. We have to win the playoff game. If we go and win the division and then shit the bed and lose, that's going to be just as bad as not making it. So there's a lot of expectations to live up to right now.
Absolutely, and I think that's the best part.
But I think the boys will do it. And I can't wait until next year after Jared goes and wins a playoff game or two and maybe goes to the NFC title game, and then then you guys have to sit here and tell me about why he's still not good enough to re-sign or be our quarterback. I can't wait for that next year. It's going to be my favorite time.
It all comes at a price, Terrell. Yeah, I think there's a number for every player in the NFL.
Hold on, Adam. Let me get Terrell. Let me get Terrell real quick. Terrell, I want you calling back. I want you calling back next year, and I want you to pitch why he deserves $50 million. I can't wait.
He's not, though.
I will never give him $50 million.
Exactly.
I would never give him $50 million.
I just love that.
Never. I would never give no quarterback $50 million. If I was the GM, the first thing I would say at my press conference is I'm never giving nobody $50 million. So get the fuck out of my face with that shit. I'm not raping my salary cap for no player. Period.
You would be
maybe 40.
Now that's big boss, Terrell. If you're a GM saying that, that's big boss stuff.
Yeah, I give Burrow or
that's
Mahomes
reality.
50, but that's a different conversation.
Man, I want to win. You want to win, or one day I'm going to call in and I'm going to give y'all my whole tirade about quarterbacks and the fucking salary cap and all this shit. But not today. Today's celebration day. So
I love it, Terrell.
We're feeling good out here.
Yeah, appreciate the call, Terrell.
All right, fellas.
I love that.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Every time he calls in.
I know.
Yeah.
Me and Terrell, we battle, dude. That's why I love him.
I love it. All right, here's what I got. All right, how much time we got? Do we have to go to break? God damn it. The show is flying by. I don't want it to end.
Look, get your feet kicked up.
I'm chilling.
I
You
love
see my
it.
socks?
Yeah, I do.
America.
They're stylish.
It's a great day to be an American, especially if you're a Detroit Lions fan. Let me switch this around. It's a great day. But here's what we're going to do. A lot of people waiting on the Lions. I want to get to all the people. Your thoughts on what the Detroit Lions should do with the 6th overall pick. Really not even just the 6th overall pick in the draft. What's the strategy? I've yet to hear anybody call in and mention quarterback or interior lineman on the defensive side. Call in. I want to know. Where are you at this morning? We'll do that and so much more coming up next. But before we go, Jeff, I got to tell everybody about where I need to go because, my God, I look like a grizzly bear, and that is Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, kick your feet up, and relax because their awesome stylists will take care of you like they take care of me. So get to a Lady Jane's near you. A Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zaniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Good morning, Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network, live. WoodwardSports.com. Adham, Beydoun, Jeff, Iafrate, as always. We got an exciting show for all of you. It's been fun so far. We've taken a ton of calls. Breaking news during the break: Romeo Okwara, just restructured his deal, freeing up roughly $9 million. Jeff, I want to hear what you have to say. We kind of had a little sidebar conversation during the break. You could argue linebacker, but to me that just says DJ Chark. I don't know any other reason than that.
Yeah, they had to free up money somehow. Romeo, I think his salary cap hit this year would have been about $14 million. They restructure it, now it's about $5 million. So save some money, could be for DJ Chark. We talked about it during the break. I don't think it'll be any more defensive players being added. Go get DJ Chark, bring him back, and if they do, man, just cherry on top.
That's the big-bodied wide receiver I think you want in any offense. It really completes their offense. Really, there's no more holes. Maybe you could argue guard, but it's looking good for Detroit. I like the deal. Well done, Brad, as always. I only ever have nice things to say about Brad Holmes. I can get used to that. I hope one day I get to do that about the head coach, honestly. I know you guys all think I hate him. I don't. I hope one day all I get to do is say very nice things about Dan Campbell.
And so far, it's been more good as of late than bad.
It's been a lot of good recently. He's 8-2 down the stretch really opened my mind to the possibility that he could work. He's got all the tools necessary to make it happen. No more excuses. Let's go. Let's take some calls. Flannel Sam, who do we got on the line?
We have Braxton.
All right, Braxton, good morning. You're on the Morning Woodward Show. Talk to me about the draft. Now that free agency is essentially completed for the Lions outside of maybe the Chark move, what are you looking to see?
All right, so I remember I called in last week talking about how the most important position of need for the Lions, in my opinion, was slot corner, and then we went out and got a top 3 slot corner in the NFL. When I saw that, I was literally in shock at how little we got him to. Insane. Our GM is crazy. Insane. But with that being said, I'm seeing all these moves being done with the secondary. I was originally thinking cornerback at 6, but then I was thinking I know we all kind of bash on him now, but if Jeff Okudah was coming out in this draft, he would be the best prospect coming in if we didn't know anything about his career. So the cornerback class isn't that good, but then I was all right, interior defensive line. But then I don't think Carter's going to be there, and I don't think we want him. Campbell is good. He's undersized, though. And, I wouldn't mind trading back to get him. But, I'm saying, if we stay there at 6, every single sign is pointing towards a quarterback.
Can I ask you something, though, Braxton? And this isn't really just about Cansey, but in general, okay? Let's say they do stay put at 6. Let's forget the idea of a quarterback just for the sake of argument here, okay? Let's say they had no interest in getting a quarterback, You're at 6. Tell me the difference, honest to God, between drafting, for example, not any given player, but let's say Kalijah Cansey for this argument. What's the difference between getting him at 6 and 8? Why? What is the 2-3 spot difference to make you justify it? Is 6 more than what he's projected? Sure, but if you're in love with the player and you believe he fills a need and can be better than Jalen Carter. I don't know why you would wait. To me, this is what the Jets did. Go ahead.
I feel like the reason why there's the reason why you would want to trade back to get someone like Kancey is because the opportunity to gain assets and pick the player still is like way greater than just picking a player that's like overdrafted, if that makes sense. So like,
I would agree, but it's tough to overdraft on the defensive line, in my opinion. It's one of the most important positions in football. I do get the concerns of his size, but he is arguably, more than Jalen Carter, you could argue, the most explosive interior lineman coming out of this draft. He was dominant at Pitt for a reason. To me, what am I getting by trading back 2-3 spots? Maybe a second-round pick? Okay, cool. I already have 2 of them. To me, the risk doesn't outweigh the reward, given I'm still have my eyes on the same guy, even if it is 2 picks later.
I just feel like we could gain assets to like also get the same player, which would be like even greater. And also the stuff about Swift, I feel like we're gonna play him out one more year, and next year's running back class is way better than this one, in my opinion. Like, I would take both of the Michigan boys right now over Swift. I'm not gonna lie. Like Edwards and Corum, I would take them over him, and that's next year. Mm-hmm. So I don't feel like we're gonna do anything with him, but I know where everyone's coming from saying he sucks, though. His vision is actually really bad. It's really, really bad if you watch the film back.
Yeah.
But at 6...
Go ahead.
At 6, like, if we stay there, it's all pointing towards quarterback. It's all pointing towards quarterback. All these defensive players. And, like, I don't know if y'all get the same vibe, but, oh, my goodness. I don't think they're completely confident in Goff. I feel like every game they're like, okay, Goff, don't mess up, and we can win the game. And he didn't do that down the stretch. But how many games consistently can he do that?
You know, I feel like that's a great question, honestly, Braxton. And the way I see it, to answer your question, is I do think they believe in Goff. Do they look at Jared Goff and say he's Patrick Mahomes, he's Trevor Lawrence, he's Joe Burrow? No, the hell they don't. They're not stupid. But I've seen Jimmy Garoppolo get to a Super Bowl. I've seen Brock Purdy get to an NFC Championship game. I've seen Joe Flacco get to a Super Bowl and win one. I've seen Eli Manning get to multiple Super Bowls and win them. The NFL has always been about how good is your head coach? Is your quarterback good enough? And I think Goff is good enough. I don't think he's elite among one of the 5-6 best quarterbacks in the league, but I think he's very good. I don't think he's somebody you would treat like a Ryan Tannehill. To me, Ryan Tannehill is exactly what you described. Don't lose us the game. To me, Jared Goff, 27 touchdowns, what was it, 8, 9 interceptions last year. He only threw 1 interception along with 18 touchdowns down the stretch after trading TJ Hawkinson. To me, you've gotten to a Super Bowl with Goff before in LA. You've won playoff games. You've won divisions. Is he limited? Sure. Does he have his flaws? Sure. Every quarterback does. But I think the Lions, what they're doing is they're gearing up to answer 2 very serious questions. Do we have the right head coach, and do we have the right quarterback? They go out and win a division this year. They go out and win the playoff game. I think everybody will be on board with the idea of Jared Goff and Dan Campbell for the foreseeable future.
I have a question, though.
Yep.
So you get to one of these championship games, right?
Yep.
Or, like, do you have full 100% trust? We're down 3, down 2 or whatever, game-winning drive. Do you have full trust that Goff is going to lead us down the field?
Yeah, that's a tricky question because the answer is, do I have as much trust in him as I would, let's say, a Matthew Stafford back in the day or a Tom Brady or some of these elite quarterbacks? Yes. Obviously not. But, again, it's a tricky one because if it's not Goff, who is it? And if it is drafting a quarterback this year or next year, there are no guarantees. Drafting quarterback is one of the most difficult things to do, especially when you're not drafting number 1 overall. It's just very difficult to evaluate. So, again, that's a tough question to answer it. No, but more times than not, I think he's capable, though. I wouldn't bet the house on it, but I've seen him also put together a few game-winning drives this year and game-closing drives. You can point out Chicago. You can point out Green Bay where they iced the deal. So I've seen him do it. Am I more confident in him than Burrow or Mahomes? Of course not. But I'm confident enough where, yes, I think in those high-pressure stake situations, with the right coaching, with the right team around him, I think he's capable.
Okay, so you say you're not so you're not 100% confident.
No, of course not. No, and I know where you're going with this. I would love to have a franchise quarterback that's a top 5 guy in the league. Of course, I've seen it for 12 years with Stafford here. You had a franchise guy. They never surrounded him with what he needed. He leaves for 1 year, goes and wins a Super Bowl. Mahomes, Burrow, Herbert now the new class, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts. You're seeing it. Josh Allen. Of course, I would love to have those guys, but that's not my reality.
About Stafford's time here, oh my goodness, that is such a breath of fresh air. We literally didn't put enough around him. We had a franchise quarterback, and he left and got a Super Bowl.
Yep.
I feel like we need to raise that ceiling. If this next year,
what if I told you this? What if I told you this? Because I agree with that. What if I told you I'm on board to, quote, raise the ceiling once I've reached it? Because I don't know what my ceiling with Goff is. Because I saw Sean McVay and company get to a Super Bowl with him. And you know what? If Jared Goff gets me to an NFC title game this year, well, I'm on board with him for the next year. I'm not in a rush. And if they do it again the next year, or dare I say get to a Super Bowl in 3 years, I mean, again, when do I identify his ceiling? I don't know that yet. I agree, I would love to raise it, but what if his ceiling is winning 4 playoff games in a 3-4 year window and getting to 2 NFC title games? To me, that's massive success.
That is, but I'm going to raise you this question too.
Yep.
The 49ers went through this exact same scenario that you said with Jimmy Garoppolo, and they still felt like they had to upgrade with Trey Lance.
And they fucked up. But they fucked up, right? Because the Chiefs did the same thing, but they got Mahomes. And the Niners got Trey Lance, who, by the way, will be the starting quarterback this year. We'll see if it works out for them. It's too early to say now. This will be his first legit year starting for them. But, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I agree with you. I just think it's tough for me to rush Jared Goff out the door when I think he can give me maybe as much, if not more, than what Alex Smith gave the Chiefs before they drafted Mahomes.
That is true. And I also think this. If we don't draft a quarterback this year, the quarterback class next year is comparable. The league knows is always 2 steps ahead. So, like, last year, nobody took a quarterback first round because they knew this year was going to be, like, the class with all the good quarterbacks. Next, I feel like with all these 1-year deals, yeah, they could be flyers, but it's also like, all right, Goff, we're going to surround you with talent this year. If you don't do good, we know that there's a ton of talent next year. Caleb Williams, Drake Mason, Dirk Sanders, even McCarthy from Michigan. Like, there's a lot of talent next year. So it's just something to look at.
Yeah, I don't completely disagree with that, to be honest, Braxton. Good call, man. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you.
Well done. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll wrap up a few things.
I want to go through the poll that Woodward we just put in the chat.
Okay, I'm curious to what that is. I haven't seen it yet. We'll get to that coming up next. And then we'll get to Mailbag at 9:50. But before we go, Jeff, you got to tell everybody at home about our good friends over at Cintron.
Cintron is the official energy drink of the Detroit Red Wings. And right now they have an exclusive offer for Woodward sports fans for their limited edition Red Wings 6-pack. Only $15 plus free shipping. Head to drinkcintron.com/Woodward and try it today. All 3 delicious Cintron flavors in one. Classic sugar-free, and cranberry. Again, that's drinkcintron.com/Woodward.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan.
Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals in town. Plus, they will beat all competitors by $5. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Hottest bulbs, hottest deals, darkest tans. Your vitamin D headquarters.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Since the dawn of moving people, Chevrolet has led the way. The world of transportation is changing. At Feldman Chevrolet, we are leading the charge forward. With every electric vehicle, every mile traveled, one Feldman at a time. The company that puts more Chevys on Michigan roads is now the #1 name for Chevy electric vehicles.
You have an opinion? Make sure it's seen and heard. Corner, jumper, tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
At Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment has everything you need to get any job done. If you have a big project coming up, Alta Rent has you covered. Call them today, 844-GO-TO-ALTA. That's 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. Sam Flannel. Dropping the beat.
Great job today, Flannel.
Dropping the beat today, Sam.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
So, there's a poll in the chat. Who should the Detroit Lions take with the 6th overall pick? Quote, if these are the best options available. Kalijah Kancey, Christian Gonzalez, Tyree Wilson, Anthony Richardson. Jeff, I'll let you lead this. What do you think?
Yeah, I didn't want to put Jalen Carter in there because I feel like that's the obvious one. If Jalen Carter's there, you're going to have to consider him. But I wanted to do a situation where 4 players are there. These are your options. And the reason why I threw Anthony Richardson in is because I think Bryce and CJ go 1 and 2. And I think the Colts will take Will Levis. So you might have a real situation. You could have Will Levis there. You could have Anthony Richardson. I decided to go with Anthony Richardson. You have Tyree Wilson, Christian Gonzalez, Kalijah Kancey. You can't trade out. What are you doing? And to your point earlier you made about Kancey, if you like him, you take him there. And the people pushing back on you, 6 is too high. You know, all the types of pushback.
6 is too high for Christian Gonzalez, in my opinion.
But look at the poll. If these are the best options, who are you taking, Adam? 41% sides with you. And that's 422 votes.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm right, shut the fuck up, who I want.
But it's reasonable.
But what I'm telling you is, what is the biggest issue with this defense right now? The interior line. Why not address it? Why not? Do I think Kalijah Kancey can be as good as Quinnen Williams? I do. Do I think he can be as good as Aaron Donald? That's a bunch of bullshit. If anybody thinks Kalijah Kancey can be as good as Aaron Donald, convince me, and he should go #1 overall.
Adam,
because that's what would have happened with Aaron Donald.
If he can be 70%,
He'll
I'm
go
taking
top
him
5.
yes. Like he doesn't have to be Aaron Donald. Just if he's
I'm just saying, I mean, the comparisons always make me laugh. If you think he's the next Aaron Donald, you take him #1 overall.
Yeah. That redraft, he goes #1.
It's not even a question. So, yeah, am I getting one of the 5, 6 greatest defensive players of all time? Well, that'd be nice. I'm not locking on it. Every draft is different. Did I draft Aiden Hutchinson with the expectation that he'd be a top 10 pass rusher of all time? No, I did not. But what I would like to see is a top 10 pass rusher by his 3rd year in the NFL. And he's on pace to do that. 9.5 his first year. I would give the number at 12 this year. I'd like to see a jump. And I think he's going to be a formidable force in the NFL for years to come. I don't have to question the work ethic, just like Kancey. I don't have to question the character, just like Kancey. High motor. Kancey, quote, undersized. Again, for me, of those 4 options, Tyree Wilson really pulls at my heart. A lot of potential there. But for me, it's Kancey.
Yeah.
I'm not moving off of who I think.
It's your #1 position of need.
Pick 6, I can't trade back. I don't plan on moving up. Yeah, Kancey.
And Carter's not there? Yeah.
And I don't want Anthony Richardson. That doesn't mean it's a bad choice. If Brad Holmes believes Anthony Richardson is the future of the NFL, I would be shocked. I would. I'd be very shocked. I wouldn't be on board with it. Would I trust Brad Holmes? Of course I would. But I also know that GMs also make mistakes. Nobody bats 100.
Right.
Or, excuse me, 1,000. Nobody bats 1,000. Brad Holmes is batting at a pretty exceptional level right now. But, you know, I'm just not on board with the idea of Richardson at 6.
And with these 4 players, the least amount of questions you could argue, Kalijah and Christian. Those 2 have the least amount of questions. If you want to go Tyree, you have the injury history, he's very raw. And then Anthony Richardson, another raw player, who we've discussed before. He's a project. A lot of upside, but still a project. Kalijah and Christian Gonzalez, 2 players you draft day 1. You know what you're getting out of them. Not as many questions.
Rank the 5 best defensive players coming out of the board in this draft. Your rankings.
Well, I would go Will Anderson, #1. I still believe
2?
him. Jalen Carter.
Okay, #3.
if you want to put potential, maybe you put Tyree Wilson in there. But
it's okay. No,
but
it's your list. It's your list. Give me your 5.
To kind of summarize it, after Carter, I feel like a lot of it's debatable. Like, you could say, well, I think Christian Gonzalez is up there. And then I could say, well, no, I think Cansey's up there. So, really, those two are the staples. But after that, to me, it's really just, it's a toss-up.
Okay, here's what I think. I think it's Will Anderson, number 1. Kalijah Cansey, number 2. Jalen Carter, number 3.
Wow. Carter
fell because of his obvious shitty pro day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only reason he's not 2 for me. So, he's going to sit there at 3. Number 4. You want to talk about potential, upside? Tyree Wilson has to be in the conversation.
He does.
And number 5, you could argue Christian Gonzalez. Sure. It's tough for me not to agree. So I would consider... Actually, I'm not going to consider it. Never mind. It'll be Christian Gonzalez at 5. Those would be my 5. So why are we complaining? If I told you can get a top 5 defensive player coming out in this draft at 6, are you not taking it?
I'm taking it.
So
yeah. If it's not a quarterback, it's one of those
That's where we're
guys.
at this morning. Let's take a break. When we get back, quick break, please. I don't want to be too long. I want to come back. I want as much time with the people as possible. We'll get to as many questions. Mailbag, drop them in the chat. Jeff and I will be back shortly. But before we go, Jeff, the best defense on and off the field.
Well, we're talking about defensive players, elite defensive players. I got an elite defense for you. It's Guardian Alarm. Customized solutions from real experts. Their professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific to your needs. They have 24/7 constant professional monitoring. You can call them anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone with you for as long as you need. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1, what's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2, join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3, bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Let me tell you about my good friends over at Custom Health Centers. Start your weight loss journey today. Dr. Jason and his awesome team will help you lose weight. What are you waiting for? 844-789-8446. Mailbag time, Jeff. Take the lead. Whatever questions you want to get to, be my guest.
So I'm going to go to Tim first. Mailbag. If both options were available to you, would you sign Bobby Wagner or DJ Chark with that freed up money?
Bobby Wagner.
I'm with you. You add Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner.
Go draft a wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't even think you have to draft one, though.
I think you've got to find a way to at least replace
You can address
Chark.
it later on.
But regardless, Bobby Wagner, man. Now we're
Get the
cooking.
kid out of Stanford, big-bodied receiver.
Benji asks, Mailbag, are Jeff and Adam now open to the idea of Michael Mayer at 18?
Who asked that? Benji?
Benji.
I would rather be held down and gang raped.
Wow.
Than draft a tight end at 18. I hope I made that very clear.
You made it very
I'd
clear.
rather
It's
be
2020.
penetrated
It's 2020
by multiple
clear.
men.
All right. Well. Jesus.
Did I make my point?
No, yeah, you did. All right, let's move on here. Okay. Hip says, Mailbag, do you guys feel optimistic about Chark actually signing a contract to stay with the Lions, given he hasn't signed anywhere else? I heard Carolina's trying to sign a bunch of wide receivers. They signed Thielen. They're trying to get Chark for their rookie quarterback they'll draft. I don't know. To me, the fact that Chark hasn't signed yet says a lot. It means that maybe the market isn't responding to what he's asking for. I think there's a real shot he's back, but I wouldn't count on it.
Bobby Wagner over Chark all day. Yeah, I would agree. I mean, that Bobby Wagner had the highest rated PFF grade among linebackers last year.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? That is a clear upgrade. And you could make the case that the Lions, with who they draft, could have a top 10 defense next year if they get Bobby Wagner. Oh my goodness. Sign me up. Quentin Johnston or Jackson Smith and Jimba at 18. That's a tricky one for me because Smith and Jimba fills a different role than a Quentin Johnston would.
I would say Quentin Johnston just because
I think he fills that need given Chark. I'm imagining won't be back in that scenario.
I
don't love Quentin Johnston.
I don't want a wide receiver at 18, but if you're asking me, gun to my head, who am I taking? I'm going to go Quentin Johnston just because he could fill right into that DJ Chark role. Mailbag. Tim says, who will be running back 3 and 4? Hopefully 3 is addressed in the draft.
Craig
4
Reynolds
is going to be Craig
fifth-round
Reynolds.
draft pick,
Yeah, that'll be it right
That's
there.
my ideal situation.
NFL Draft Junkie Mailbag. Is Jalen Carter worth the risk at 6 or worth trading up one spot to guarantee Anderson or Carter? To be honest with you, I'm on a fence with Jalen Carter because we know what he is as a player. We watched Georgia this year. We know what he can do. We know what he does to any defense he's going to enter day one. But there's that other side of it, which is the pro day. And I get it's a pro day, but still, that says a lot about really your character. And I know he's had a lot of stuff going on in the background. I'm hesitant, but of course, if they take Jalen Carter, you damn straight I'm going to come up here Monday or the day after the draft, be Friday, and be excited. So
I'm not sure how I feel about it.
I'm not going to say don't draft Jalen Carter, but I get if they don't. I would understand. If there's legitimate character issues, I can't hate that. Brad and Dan have been consistent with that ideology for a while.
They don't want any turds here in Detroit.
No, they don't.
Jalen Carter's pro day was performed by a turd. You can tell me about off-the-field issues. At the end of the day, we all go through life struggles. We all have problems. And it is our professional duty to show up and deliver at work. In the fourth quarter of a one-possession game, when you're tired, you're beaten up, all odds are stacked against you. It's 3rd and short, 4th and 1. What are you going to do? Are you going to make the play? When Jamar Chase burns Jalen Ramsey in the Super Bowl and it has 10, 15 yards of separation for a game-winning touchdown pass, was Aaron Donald too tired? Was Aaron Donald too beaten up? No, the fuck he wasn't. He delivered and showed up when it mattered the most, and that's what the greats do. Not just Jalen Carter. I expect from Aiden Hutchinson, when the chips are on the table, can I rely on you? That pro day was super concerning to me. You can still draft him, sure. But I have a ton of questions that I don't think will be answered from an additional workout that only happened behind closed doors with a meeting. And can you get into their mental psyche? That's why I'm all on board with Kalijah Kancey.
And by the way, all the questions regarding Levi Ozarike and what will he'll do,
Fuck him.
There should be no concern about Levi. Like at this point, you're pretty much operating as if he's not here. If he plays and he plays well, great. But if he doesn't, this is why you still need to address these positions. You can't count on Levi with what he's dealing with, but he's still there. So we'll see.
I don't want to hear.
I'm not going to not draft a defensive tackle because I have Levi Ozarike.
Levi Ozarike.
Like, that doesn't move it.
I act like he doesn't exist.
Apex Predator, we closing the phone lines down? Yeah.
I apologize, buddy. We are calling tomorrow. We'll have the phone lines open tomorrow as well. Mailbag is about answering all the written comments and questions in our Woodward Sports chat. Jeff, what else do we have, buddy?
Let's see here. Mailbag, do you guys think the deal we gave CJ was the cash towards DJ? Second question, Jeff, what do you think about the fight card on Saturday? The first question, I don't think so, because again, they
just restructured Aquara, so
and who knows with Vaitai? There's ways that Brad can clear up more money. So I don't want to say the CJ deal was DJ's money. The second part was very upsetting. I picked Kamaru Usman. I looked at it weird anyway. Leon was a heavy underdog as a champ in England. It was weird anyway. If you were better, you smelled that from a mile away. But it was disappointing. It was. It was a great card, though. I liked the card. I mean, just the result was like, all right. Now you got Colby.
Usman win?
No, yeah, he lost via decision. Now you got Colby Covington facing him next. So
you agree with that?
Which Colby does not deserve.
Is that the right fight?
No, he doesn't deserve a title fight. But that's another conversation.
Well, Adam do actual cocaine if the Lions win the Super Bowl. Look, Tim, I don't like to give away all my bags of secrets, but if the Lions ever won a Super Bowl, I would have about 30 strippers.
I think your lungs would explode.
7 hookahs on this table. I would have about 8 lines of blow. drawn up, and I would be so fucked up and incoherent and so intoxicated, along with drugged up, that I would barely make it through the first 5 minutes of the show. And I would probably lose my job and my professional career would be over. But I could die. I could go be a homeless man knowing the Lions won a Super Bowl. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't just do cocaine on the show. I would start dealing it. I would go to jail if I had to. I don't give a shit. I would do cocaine off this microphone, off of Jeff's ass.
Okay.
Off
well,
of that camera.
How did I get involved?
Off of this hookah pipe. I would do cocaine off of any and everything. You kidding me?
All right.
You kidding me? I would bring fish in here just to do blow with me. Did I answer the question correctly?
I think you did. I think you did.
All right. That's it for today's show. That was fun. Thank you guys for a very fun show. Thank you for tuning in the whole time. We appreciate it as always. Jeff, well done today.
Thank you, sir.
That was super fun. How about that? Gardner-Johnson in Detroit. Who would have thought, huh? Who would have thought? Flannel Sam, thank you for filling in today. JB's got some work to do elsewhere, so appreciate you stepping up. I would say sorry about Michigan getting knocked out of the NIT, but I actually don't give a fuck.
No,
and Jawan Howard's a scrub, so what are you going to do? That's what Jawan Howard teams do. They just fucking choke on dick and lose.
You're not lying. I want him to be fired. I want his voice.
Enjoy Big D Energy with Neil Rule today. I'm sure you're going to hear it a lot from him. Thank you guys again. Have a great rest of your day. You can smoke on this while I close out. Have a blessed day. Shout out to Brad Holmes and the Lions front office. Again, Dan Campbell, well done for establishing a culture that will allow your GM to operate this way. Till tomorrow, we'll see you guys later.